God, I'm not starting this prayer from some still, beautiful place. I'm starting it with one sock on, a half-drunk cup of coffee somewhere in the house, a phone already lighting up, and a mind that keeps trying to sprint ahead of me. There are things waiting, people waiting, deadlines, errands, conversations, responsibilities, all of it lined up like the day has already begun, without asking whether I'm ready. And the truth is, I don't fully feel ready. Not because I don't know how to function. I know how to function. I know how to answer messages, get dressed, keep moving, nod at people, do what needs to be done. I've had plenty of practice doing that. What I mean is, I don't want to move through this day on autopilot and then wonder tonight why I feel empty, irritated, scattered, or ashamed of how I handled things. I don't want to keep surviving days I never actually surrendered to you. So I'm bringing you this morning exactly as it is. Not cleaned up, not slow, not all that spiritual looking, just real. I need you to lead every step I take today, because I know what happens when I lead myself without checking in. I get impatient fast. I start rushing people in my mind before they've even finished speaking. I make plans that leave no room for grace. I treat interruptions like attacks. I say yes too quickly because I want to be liked, then feel resentful because I said yes for the wrong reason. I tell myself I'm being productive when really I'm just anxious and trying to outrun whatever I don't want to feel. That's not the kind of day I want. And if I'm being completely honest, what scares me about some days is not that they are painful. It's that they are ordinary enough for me to stop paying attention. Pain makes me pray sometimes. Ordinary life can make me careless. It can make me forget that character is built in the regular hours too. In how I respond when I'm running late. In how I talk to people I don't need anything from. In what I do when nobody would know if I cut a corner. In how I carry stress without making everybody around me pay for it. That's why I need your leadership this morning, not just for the big decisions, for the little ones too, especially the little ones, honestly, because those are the ones I excuse. The tone, the glance, the delayed apology, the small lie that sounds smoother than the truth, the sarcastic joke that lets me hide behind humor, the passive-aggressive silence, the overspending because I want comfort, the scrolling because I don't want to sit with myself, the gossip dressed up as concern, the sharpness that comes out when I'm tired and call it honesty. Please don't let me call what is careless just being human, if really it is me refusing your help. I know I need grace. I know I'm not going to do this day perfectly, but I also don't want to hide inside that. I don't want to use grace as a blanket for patterns you've already been trying to confront in me. I don't want to ask you to lead me and then pull my hand away the second you take me somewhere uncomfortable. And that happens more than I like to admit. I say I want your will, but sometimes what I really want is a version of your will that doesn't interrupt my preferences. I want guidance as long as it agrees with my schedule, my timing, my image, my comfort, my assumptions, my appetite, my mood. If it asks me to apologize first, pause longer, spend less, speak softer, wait longer, say no, say yes, admit I'm wrong, turn around, hold back, forgive, or let go of something that feeds my ego. Suddenly I start acting confused about what you're saying. You know me better than that. So let's be honest before the day gets louder. There are places in me that still resist being led. Not because I don't love you. I do. But because I still love control more than I realize. I like predicting outcomes. I like reading rooms. I like managing impressions. I like thinking 3 steps ahead so I don't feel exposed. I like having a reason for everything. And yet some of the biggest messes in my life came from me trusting my own instincts too quickly. and ignoring the quiet caution you were already giving me. I don't want to repeat that today. Lead me before I send the message. Lead me before I answer the question. Lead me before I assume motives. Lead me before I commit money. Lead me before I make promises with energy I don't actually have. Lead me before I defend myself too quickly. Lead me before I call something wisdom that is really fear. Lead me before I call something faith that is really impulse. Lead me before I make a situation worse just because I was too proud to pause. Your word says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." And I love that it says, lamp, not stadium lights. Because if I'm honest, I always want more than the next step. I want the next month, the next answer, the next outcome, the reassurance that everything will make sense later. But most of the time, what I actually need is enough light to stop stumbling over what is right in front of me. So give me that. Light for what is in front of me. If I'm walking into a conversation that could go bad fast, light that. If I'm carrying an attitude into work that will leak onto everybody else, light that. If I'm about to choose convenience over integrity, light that. If I'm clinging to being understood more than I'm clinging to being kind, light that. If I'm expecting people to read my mind and then getting mad when they don't, light that too. If my schedule is so packed that I'm becoming hard to live with, light that. If my yes has become dishonest, light that. If my no is coming from fear, light that. If what I'm calling discernment is really just avoidance, please, light that clearly. God, I need your help with people today. That's one of the biggest places I lose myself. I can do okay when it's just tasks. Tasks are predictable. People aren't. People are tired, emotional, distracted, insecure, selfish, wonderful, confusing, needy, guarded, loud, passive, kind, and complicated, often all in the same hour. And so am I. That's the problem. I walk into relationships wanting to be patient and steady, but then one tone, one look, one dismissive comment, one inconvenient request, one misunderstood sentence, and suddenly I can feel my whole inner world shifting. I hate how fast that can happen. One minute I'm fine. The next minute I'm rehearsing comebacks in my head, building a case, retelling the story in a way that makes me look clean and them look ridiculous. Imagining conversations that haven't even happened. Withdrawing emotionally before anything is actually resolved. Calling it wisdom when really I'm offended. Calling it boundaries when really I want punishment. That's ugly, but it's true. Please meet me there before I do damage in subtle ways. Help me recognize when I'm no longer trying to solve a problem and am just trying to win. Help me notice when my kindness has become performance. Help me see when I'm only listening long enough to reload. Help me tell the truth without needing the last word. Help me hold a boundary without turning cold. Help me be direct without being cruel. Help me stay soft without becoming spineless. That balance is hard for me. I tend to swing. Either I over-explain so everyone is comfortable and I'm not honest, or I get so tired of being misunderstood that I start speaking with a hard edge and call it clarity. Lead me better than that. And while we're here, God, I need your guidance over my mouth in particular. Honestly, that might be where a whole day rises or falls for me. Because words feel small when they are leaving me, and then later, I realize how much they landed. A sentence I said too quickly can stay in somebody's chest all day. A sarcastic comment can sound funny to me and humiliating to them. A delayed apology can make a wound deeper than it had to be, Even silence can be loud when I use it to punish instead of pause. Set a guard over my mouth today. When I want to exaggerate to make my point stronger, stop me. When I want to vent just because I want agreement, stop me. When I want to say what sounds clever instead of what is true, stop me. When I want to speak from a bruised ego, stop me. When I want to defend an image instead of confessing a wrong, stop me. When I'm about to say yes to something I know I cannot carry, stop me, kindly, but clearly. And if I need to say something hard, help me not delay it into dishonesty. I know some of the situations in front of me are not simple. Some of us are dealing with difficult family dynamics, difficult bosses, difficult people we cannot avoid, complicated friendships, marriages that feel strained, children we love but don't know how to reach, parents we honor but also carry history with, church hurt, money pressure, health stuff, legal stuff, grief that comes back sideways, responsibilities that don't pause just because we're tired. I know this. You know this more than I do. So I'm not asking you for a fake day. I'm not asking for a day where nobody annoys me, nobody disappoints me, nobody misunderstands me, nobody asks too much, nothing gets delayed, and everything goes according to plan. That would be nice, but that's not really what I mean when I say, lead me. What I mean is, if this day gets messy, don't let me get lost in the mess. If this day gets heavy, don't let me start reaching for whatever numbs me fastest. If this day gets unfair, don't let bitterness become my inner language by noon. If this day gets disappointing, don't let me punish everybody else for what somebody else did. There's a version of me that comes out when I feel powerless, and I need your help with that version. That version gets controlling. That version starts cleaning, fixing, over-planning, over-talking, or shutting down. That version gets short with people who are safe because I don't know what to do with what I'm carrying. That version wants immediate relief, immediate clarity, immediate apology, immediate resolution, sit in uncertainty without trying to grab something. And that version is not fully healed yet. So when she shows up, when he shows up, when that part of me starts pacing inside, lead me there too. Lead me in what I do with disappointment. Lead me in what I do with waiting. Lead me in what I do with envy. Lead me in what I do with humiliation. Lead me in what I do with boredom. Because sometimes boredom is when I make some of my worst choices. Not because I'm evil, just because I'm unguarded and looking for a quick feeling. Something to break the flatness. Something to make me feel seen, wanted, important, soothed, distracted. But quick comfort can cost more than I want to admit. Protect me from buying relief at the price of peace. And God, I need your help with work today, whatever work looks like for me. Paid work, homework, emotional labor, caregiving, studying, job hunting, showing up to a place I don't love yet, building something slow, doing something repetitive, doing something invisible. Work can stir so much in me. Pride, insecurity, resentment, comparison, performance, fear of failure, fear of being overlooked, fear of not being enough. Sometimes I act like work is just about getting things done, but work touches identity more than I realize. If I have influence today, keep me humble. If I am ignored today, keep me honest. If I get praised today, keep me from living off it. If I get corrected today, keep me from collapsing. If I am bored today, keep me faithful. If I am overwhelmed today, keep me from becoming harsh. If I am tempted to do the bare minimum because no one is looking, remind me that my character is still looking. Overwork just to feel worthy, interrupt that too. I don't want my job, or lack of one, or title, or paycheck, or productivity, or public usefulness to decide how human I feel. But I know how easily I slide there. One good day, and I feel important. One bad day, and I feel behind in life. One comparison, and suddenly, everything you've been doing in me seems invisible because I'm busy measuring outcomes. Lead me out of that trap, and please guide me with money today. That's one of those subjects that can get real fast. It's not abstract when bills are real, when groceries cost more, when responsibilities keep arriving, when something breaks, when someone needs help, when debt follows you into your thoughts, when generosity sounds beautiful, but fear is louder. Money can expose things in me I don't always want to face. Scarcity, vanity, impulse, greed, panic, image, self-protection. So help me be wise without becoming closed, careful without becoming controlled, generous without becoming reckless, honest without becoming anxious. If I need to say no to something, let me say it cleanly. If I need to wait, help me wait without shame. If I need to ask for help, break pride gently, but fully. And if I'm tempted to spend just to feel okay for 5 minutes, remind me that comfort bought in panic rarely comforts for long. I also need you over my attention today. That might sound small, but it isn't. Attention is where whole lives get shaped now. By what we scroll, what we watch, what we let talk to us all day, what we keep returning to when we don't want to feel our own lives. I can lose so much of myself in distraction. Not in one dramatic moment, in tiny leaks. A few minutes here, a tab open there. A thought I keep feeding, a comparison I keep revisiting, a headline that keeps me stirred up, a video that makes my mind louder, a habit of checking my phone every time I feel even 1 second of discomfort. And by the time the day is half over, I'm mentally everywhere and spiritually nowhere. I don't want to give my mind away like that today. Teach me to notice the moment before I reach for noise. Teach me to notice when I'm not actually resting, just escaping. Teach me to notice when information is becoming agitation. Teach me to notice when entertainment is training my desires in ways I will feel later. Teach me to notice when I'm numbing instead of living. I'm not asking to become some perfect, detached person with no joy and no ordinary pleasures. I just don't want my inner life colonized by whatever is loudest. I want to belong to you more than I belong to the pace of the internet, the mood of the crowd, or the pressure to keep up. And while I'm saying this, God, I know there are people praying along who are carrying private things into this morning. Not because the day is peaceful, but because the day is already complicated. Somebody is waking up to court paperwork. Somebody is checking a child's breathing. Somebody is going to a hospital. Somebody is trying to keep a marriage from completely freezing over. Somebody is walking into a job they are desperate to keep. Somebody is stuck in a house where kindness is inconsistent. Somebody is smiling in a group chat while their mind is barely holding together. Somebody is dealing with an addiction nobody knows how to talk about. Somebody is about to have a conversation they've delayed for months. Somebody feels one text away from exploding, one bill away from panic, one memory away from tears. Be close there. Not in a vague way. In the real way. In the car. In the waiting room. In the hallway outside the meeting. In the kitchen. At the desk. On the bus. At the school gate. At the pharmacy. In the parking lot where someone sits 1 minute longer because they need to gather themselves before walking inside. Meet people there, God. Meet us there. And as for me, I don't want to leave this prayer only inspired. I want to leave it more honest than when I came in. Because sometimes inspiration is easy. It feels warm for a minute. It sounds beautiful. But honesty is what actually opens the door. So here is more honesty. I am tired of certain patterns in myself. Tired of needing to be reassured by other people too much. Tired of imagining worst-case scenarios and calling it preparedness. Tired of craving peace while feeding chaos. Tired of asking you to clean up what I keep secretly protecting. Tired of letting little indulgences grow roots. Tired of apologizing for the same reaction without getting curious enough to change the conditions around it. Tired of confusing conviction with condemnation and then using the confusion as a reason not to try. Tired of wanting deep change, but only in ways that don't inconvenience me. I don't want to stay stuck in that cycle. I'm not asking to become impressive today. Honestly, I'm starting to think impressive is overrated. I want to become trustworthy. The kind of person who can be interrupted without becoming cruel. The kind of person who can be corrected without spiraling. The kind of person who does not need to dominate every room to feel safe. The kind of person who can sit in silence without immediately trying to fill it. The kind of person who can carry authority without harshness, weakness without self-pity, confidence without arrogance, tenderness without losing backbone. Those things matter more than appearing put together. So maybe letting you lead every step today means slowing down enough to notice which self is trying to take over in a given moment. The scared self, the offended self, the image-managing self, the exhausted self, the lonely self, the self that wants applause, the self that wants revenge, the self that wants to disappear, the self that wants control. I know you don't shame me for having wounded places, but I also know you don't want those places driving the car. So sit in the driver's seat today, please. And when I grab the wheel again, because I probably will, tap me. Remind me. Pull me back before I make a whole afternoon about a wound instead of a choice. Your word says, if any of us lacks wisdom, we should ask God, who gives generously without finding fault. I love that part. Without finding fault. Because sometimes I don't ask for wisdom because I already feel stupid, already feel late, already feel like I should know better by now, already feel embarrassed by how many times I've repeated a lesson. But your generosity doesn't get smaller just because my need is familiar. Thank you for that. Thank you that I can ask again. So I'm asking again. For wisdom with timing, wisdom with speech, wisdom with rest, wisdom with money, wisdom with boundaries, wisdom with compassion, wisdom with honesty, wisdom with my own body, wisdom with what to ignore and what to address, wisdom with when to stay quiet and when silence becomes avoidance, wisdom with what is mine to carry and what has become me, playing God in other people's lives. That last one is big for me. I pick up things that are not mine all the time. Other people's moods, other people's consequences, other people's choices, other people's approval, other people's expectations. I overfunction and then wonder why I'm exhausted. I manage and monitor and anticipate and absorb. And sometimes I call that love, when really it is fear wearing responsibilities clothes. Show me what is mine and what is not mine today. If it is mine, help me do it well. If it is not mine, help me release it without guilt. If it is partly mine, help me do my part without trying to control the rest. That alone would change so much. And God, lead me in my thoughts about myself today too. Because sometimes the hardest voice to spend a day with is my own. I can be so sharp with myself, so impatient, so unkind. One mistake, and suddenly I'm narrating my whole life like I'm fundamentally behind, One awkward moment and I'm reliving it in HD. One failure and I start speaking to myself in ways I would never speak to someone I love. I know self-pity is not the answer, but neither is self-contempt. Help me live in truth. If I need to repent, let me repent. If I need to rest, let me rest. If I need to learn, let me learn. If I need to grieve, let me grieve. If I need to stop dramatizing, let me stop. If I need to give myself less credit, show me. If I need to give myself less punishment, show me that too. I don't want to spend the whole day either excusing myself or attacking myself. I want to be teachable. Lead me into teachability. And because this is morning, and because mornings do shape things, I want to hand you the first emotional draft of this day before it hardens into reality. Right now, before I've had all the conversations, before I know what is going to go right or wrong, before I know who is going to text, who is going to disappoint, who is going to need me, what news will arrive, what plan will shift, what temptation will show up, what memory will hit, what pressure will build. I want to say, I am yours before I am anybody else's. Before I am useful, successful, responsive, productive, needed, admired, understood, or liked, I am yours. Before this day starts grading me, I belong to you. Before I prove anything, I belong to you. Before I fail anything, I belong to you. I need that to settle deeper in me, because so much of my behavior changes when I forget whose I am. When I forget, I perform. When I forget, I panic. When I forget, I grasp. When I forget, I compete. When I forget, I hide. When I forget, I become easier to manipulate because I'm too hungry for affirmation. When I remember, I don't become passive. I become steadier, cleaner, less frantic, less easy to buy with attention or scare with rejection. Let me remember today. And if I fall into old habits before noon, don't let me write the whole day off. That's another thing I do. I mess up one moment and then act like the whole day is spoiled. One bad interaction, one wrong reaction, one indulgence, one skipped intention, and suddenly I'm like, well, I blew it. Maybe tomorrow? No. Teach me to return quickly, to course correct without drama, to repent without putting on a whole performance about it, to come back to you mid-morning, mid-afternoon, in the bathroom at work, in the car at a stoplight, while washing dishes, while walking to the next room. You are not only available at the start of the day, but I do want to start here, because it reminds me that I don't have to wait until I'm drowning to look up. I think part of why this matters to me so much is because I've seen what happens when I don't do it. Not just once, repeatedly. Days where I wake up already reactive. Days where I let urgency disciple me. Days where my inner life gets handed over to news, noise, comparison, appetites, resentment, fantasy, or fear before I've even noticed what's happening. Days where I move fast and speak fast and think fast, and then spend the evening trying to untangle the knots I helped tie. I'm tired of living like my heart can be an afterthought. So this prayer, long as it is, simple as it is, messy as it is really me saying, I don't want my soul left behind while I conduct my life. I want you in the ordinary pace. In the email I don't want to answer. In the child asking the same question again. In the coworker who drains me. In the family member who knows how to trigger me. In the temptation that always arrives when I'm tired. In the money choice that seems small. In the traffic. In the waiting. In the success that could make me arrogant. In the disappointment that could make me hard. In the conversation where I need courage. In the apology where I need humility, in the task where I need patience, in the moment I need to walk away, in the moment I need to stay, in the moment I need to stop talking, in the moment I need to finally say what is true. Lead every step, not just the steps people see, the internal ones too. The step away from comparison, the step away from gossip, the step away from self-betrayal, the step away from dramatizing, the step away from panic buying, panic speaking, panic deciding, the step toward restraint, the step toward honesty, the step toward peace that doesn't need an audience, the step toward responsibility without self-worship, the step toward love that is not just sentiment, but action, tone, patience, and clean boundaries. The step toward a mind that can be interrupted without falling apart. I am asking for a lead day, not a perfect day. There is a difference. A perfect day would mostly serve my comfort. A lead day might confront me, expose me, slow me, redirect me, humble me, strip something, ask something, deny something, protect me from something I wanted, or send me into something I didn't choose. But if it is led by you, it is still good, even when it is uncomfortable. I want to believe that more deeply than I currently do. And for the person praying this, who feels like guidance is for other people, not them, because they think they are too inconsistent, too late, too messy, too anxious, too tired, too distracted, too ordinary, too damaged, or too disappointed. Would you cut through that lie too? You are not only the God of dramatic callings and huge turning points. You are the God of the next faithful step, the next true word, the next clean choice, the next breath, the next moment of self-control, the next ordinary act of love. Some people listening are waiting for a giant sign while the real invitation is smaller and closer. Answer honestly. Leave what is false. Return what isn't yours. Apologize today. Turn the screen off. Tell the truth. Keep the promise. Do the work. Eat the meal. Take the walk. Rest the body. Pray the simple prayer. Be kind in the room you're already in. That counts. It counts a lot. So before I go, before I pick up the rest of this morning, before I open the full weight of the day, I want to say one more time, lead me. When I don't feel spiritual, lead me. When I feel rushed, lead me. When I feel capable, must lead me. When I feel insecure, lead me. When I feel angry, lead me. When I feel numb, lead me. When I feel tempted, lead me. When I feel proud, lead me. When I feel unseen, lead me. When I feel praised, lead me. When I feel disappointed, lead me. When I don't know what I feel, but I can tell something in me is off, lead me there too. Have the first words. Have the first reaction. Have the first decision. Have the hidden motive. Have the part of me that wants to impress. Have the part of me that wants to hide. Have the part of me that wants to quit. Have the part of me that wants control. Have the part of me that is tired of trying. Have the part of me that still hopes and is scared to hope too much. I'm giving you not just the schedule, but the person walking through it. And I trust that if you lead every step, even the ones that look small, this day will not be wasted, even if it is ordinary, even if it is hard, even if it changes nothing visible by tonight. If I walk with you in it, something true will have happened, something clean, something eternal, something quieter than applause and stronger than mood. Thank you for meeting me here before the day asks everything of me. Thank you for not requiring a polished entrance. Thank you for caring about steps that seem too small to matter. Thank you that wisdom is not scarce with you. Thank you that I can start this morning honestly and not be turned away. Thank you that I don't have to become someone else before you lead me. I just have to stop pretending I can lead myself better. So, I'm starting here. Not finished. Not flawless. Not even fully calm. But open. If this prayer feels close to your real life, you don't have to force fancy words. Just tell God the room you're walking into, the decision in front of you, the person you're struggling with, or the part of yourself you're afraid will take over today. You are not the only one needing help before the day gets moving.